Good morning.
Good morning.
Hmm.
Snowy day, as usual.
Not for you. Look at
Oh yeah,
the look
look
at
at
the,
me.
the palm trees in the background. Yeah, we're dealing with some weather here. It's extremely cold. Um, we talked about that last time.
Mhm,
Let's talk about the book today. I've been working on it, and
mhm.
one of the chapters that I revisited was there's a chapter about what contractors miss. And if you think about your home, it is a bit of a sanctuary for you. You know, it's where you raise your kids, it's where you sleep, cook all your meals, eat your meals. You know, it's most people, if they're lucky, it's a place they feel safe, and it's a piece of it's their privacy. It's their little, their little box of the world. So I think a lot of home service contractors and providers forget that. They forget that, it's not just a kitchen renovation. It's, the person not being able to eat their meals in peace, or I mean, you have a young child. Imagine people
Mhm.
walking back and forth across your daughter's nursery while she's sleeping or something. There's
Mm,
a lot of trust that we have to put in a person who's working in our homes. And I feel like a lot of contractors don't think about that, about the customer journey, about how disruptive it is, um, to their life. So one of the things that we can do as home service providers is ask. A lot of times, do we even have that conversation? We do at Kahuna Koatings, something we've been doing for a long time. We often ask our customers about the details. What's a good time to show up in the morning? How are we disrupting your morning or your day? Are there any times of the day where you have certain things you need to be done? How we move room to room sometimes is always coordinated with the homeowner. Because I think your routine's getting wrecked. You know,
mm.
when you
That's
have
true.
when you have us in your home, it's it could be days of plastic hanging around on your walls,
Mm,
cabinets, or covering your furniture. So it's like having those conversations with customers is very important. It's really important to me. It's important to my guys. A lot of times we ask, how can we make today easier for you?
mm,
That's a question I try to burn into the brains of the
mhm,
guys. And a lot of times I think the customers are afraid to say something. I've actually asked customers,
yes.
they're afraid to tell you while you're in their house, because a lot of times they just don't want more of a bother, right?
Mhm,
Their life's already being disrupted by having a contractor in the house, but then they don't want to create a stir. But there might
mm.
be something they're not happy about. You might have not taken your shoes off when you should have, or you might have left some debris in a place where it wasn't safe, or the dog got into. We had a situation one time where a dog got into a paint tray after 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 we. To be fair, we did clarify with the homeowner that we could store the stuff in the one room in the house. We asked, and he said sure, and we covered it, and we did. Supposedly he was going to have that room locked off, and then he
Mhm.
sent us a picture over the weekend of the footprints all over the house from the dog. So, you know, that was even after. Imagine if we didn't have that conversation with them and we just assumed that we could put stuff in
Mm.
the room. They'll go quiet. A customer will go quiet and wait until the job's over, and then they won't hire you back.
That's the usual. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Same experience here as well. Yeah.
so I think um, those common courtesies are really important. Being on time, managing expectations, and doing it daily, like having a conversation daily. And honestly, I think the opposite is more of a reward if you do that, then you're rewarded with referrals, with people who will rave about you. We get people raving about us because we just simply do those things, ask those questions.
The experience is different.
Yeah, it's a lot of times people say, "Oh, we treat you like family," but really think about what their life is like, and a lot of times when people do any kind of service, they think about the service in a way that they have to get it done. There's a deadline. You have whatever the company you work for or whatever, but and that you're solving a problem for someone. But sometimes how you solve that problem matters. You don't want to be more of a problem in someone's house, and it happens all the time. The contractors go in with the intention of solving a problem, and then they become the problem because they mess, or they don't show up on time, or they don't communicate with the customer, or something happens on the job and they add a bunch of expenses without confirming it with the client.
That's hard.
What makes it, what else can we do to make your life easier? I think that's the question every contractor should ask. What else can we do to make your life easier? I think it translates. I think it translates.
Actually did. First time that I've heard of you mention that. It's like the perfect way of asking, and then at the same time it's not that, I don't know what the right word for it. It's intrusive. It's not it's not heavy on the other end. Basically, it's kind of what do you call, like a family that's asking you, what else can we do to make your life easier, or what can we can do to make this one easier. Yes, so
it's almost so simple that it seems obvious, but not many people are saying.
True, that's
like
true.
it seems so simple that it's complicated. It's weird. I think
Yeah, if a contractor actually approached me and then asked that question, it's going to unlock a lot more conversation. I'm going to open what's actually happening on my head, or like what's bothering me, rather than, hey, we came here, we're going to work on this wall, we're going to work on this side. Would that be okay? I'm just going to go this, and then see them like zoom out and then do the work, and then after that, hey, we're going to come back tomorrow. We're just going to leave this here. It's like,
I
what's
think
happening? It's like I'm following them.
I think terrible communication can make even great work feel like hell to somebody. Doesn't matter if the work is great. The contractor might think they're doing a great job, but if they're not communicating well with you and they're not managing your expectations or helping you to understand what's going on, then it can feel like a nightmare, because a lot of times your whole house is pulled apart. I'm trying to think. I haven't had a project personally in a while that was like that. I think the last thing I had happen at home, I managed myself, but well, I had my roof done this year and I had to manage a couple of weekends that were convenient for me to have it done. I had to actually work with, luckily it was my brotor who did the work for me, so he was pretty flexible, but we had to communicate about what weather and about when he was available to do it, because he's in the middle of other projects. That happens a lot with weather. It's another thing, guys. Like if you're out there and you're doing jobs outside and it rains for a week, make sure you call the people you're working for and let them know that the night before, hey, it's gonna rain. We might not be at your house, or hey, we're gonna schedule an interior project for the next week, and then we'll come back and finish you up. I think if you say that, then people are reasonable. And a lot of times the things that you can't do anything about, as a contractor, if you communicate it with with your customer, then they become raving fans, which is what we want. We want raving fans, not loyal customers. We want raving fans. We want people to love us and be thrilled to have an experience with us, and then be thrilled to share that experience with others. So guys, if you're out there and you're a contractor, communicate. Part of this book that I'm writing for contractors is going to have questionnaires in it and tools for you to get in the habit of doing this daily. So look for that in the next month or so, as I still keep editing it. Writing a book sucks. A lot of work. So
Well, expect that, guys. So once we have that book out, you will know. It's going to be part of our Coffee with Kahuna. We're going to announce it here as well. So keep on the lookout for that.
communication is big. And on that note, we communicate.
Mhm.
Peace.
Peace.